I want to welcome Agile XRM to the podcast. I've known the people at Agile XRM for the past 12 years. I've seen how their business process management tool can add massive value to complex organizational processes in sectors such as finance and government. If you have complex processes or a need for dialogues on the Power Platform or Dynamics 365, take a look at how this BPM tool can add value. You can find them at agilexrm.com or check out the show notes for more details. Welcome to the MVP Show. My intention is that you listen to the stories of these MVP guests and are inspired to become an MVP and bring value to the world through your skills. If you have not checked it out already, I do a YouTube series called How to Become an MVP. The link is in the show notes. With that, let's get on with the show. Today's guest is from Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. That's where I report into business-wise. She's an ERP consultant in Microsoft Dynamics BC at Valrata. She was first awarded MVP in 2022. And she's a proud mum of two and a Bicram Yoga enthusiast. So I want to unpack that. Feeling the heat doing yoga. She is particularly interested in exploring how they can bring together different technologies to solve complex challenges with real-world problems. As always, full links to her show notes, bio, etc. will be to her socials will be in the show notes for this episode. Alexandra, welcome to the show.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Mark. Thank you for having me.
Good to have you on. Now, I can detect an accent. Where do you originate from?
I'm originally from Ukraine.
Is that right? So how long have you been in Australia?
I've been in Australia over 15 years, but back and forth. Before 2000, we came back in 2019, before pandemic. We lived for 5 years in the United States, in Boston, and then come back again to Sydney. It's been 4 years, yeah. But Sydney has Sydney introduced me to ERP field. Sydney introduced me to Microsoft technology. That's kind of interesting part to be back and change career.
Yeah. Before we unpack your and get into your journey into this side of Microsoft business applications, tell us a bit about your family, your favorite foods, and what you do for fun when you're not working. That Bicram Yoga.
I forgot what I have been working a lot recently, so I forgot what I'm not doing when I'm not working. But I have a family in Sydney. I have 2 young girls, 2 daughters, and Bikram has been my passion since I was a student. Again, I was introduced in Sydney. I went to Sydney Charles Sturt University. I did my degree, a master degree in accounting, and Bicram Yoga Studio was just across the street. So it helped me to distress and settle as an immigrant student in Sydney, and it stayed in my life till now.
Wow. So let me get this right. Bikram Yoga is when you do yoga in a room that is heated to a certain temperature, right?
Exactly. Yes, it's 90 minutes in a sort of, the temperature is up to sauna, but you can find nice spots, like you can put your mat next to the door and have a bit of breeze during the exercises. It's not for everyone. I personally love it, and I found it very relaxing and distressful. Like, it's like distressing and unwinding, and help me to move on with things, but not for everyone. It's individual choice.
How did it come about? Like, traditional yoga, you grab your yoga mat and a couple of blocks and things like that, and you can do it pretty much anywhere. Who introduced the concept of heat into the mix, and what was the idea of adding heat to doing a yoga workout?
Well, there was a yoga founder, Bicram Yoga founder, that was based in California. Had a bit of bad publicity recently regarding all other stuff, but the idea was, and it resonates with me, is that heat helps you to stretch your muscles quicker than normal. Like, usually, if you're not flexible by nature, then it's more difficult to get into yoga and get into routine. which is consistency. But then when you do that in heat up room, it helps you not to feel that pain and get a bit more deeper in your practice. And and they build up a consistent, like a routine of exercises that involve all muscles in your body during the 90 minutes of the practice.
Very cool. Tell me about food.
Food. Oh, well, I eat everything. I love everything. I love traveling, and I'm in adventure in the food to explore different food and different traditions. I think that's the beauty of our life, that we can explore different tastes and different cultures and traditions.
Interesting. Good. It would be remiss of me not to talk about Ukraine. I've had many MVPs on the show from Ukraine, and we've discussed it at length. We've done a dedicated show just on the situation there. Tell me about your, how you're feeling, what's going on for you in that respect.
Oh, well, that's very sad. It's terrible what's happening. I do have family there. My family is in a city that has not been impacted as much as other cities, but I do have a lot of friends based in Sydney, particular, and back in Boston, that their families was devastated by this. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like there is any end at this stage. My brother was taken to the army, and that's something that we all live and have to cope day by day.
Yeah. Horrible situation. As we jump into your experience and your history and your origin story of tech, you mentioned that you started in accounting. Was that then a logical progression into software, or the software side with ERP?
Yeah, my story is interesting. I got by luck in a way. So in Boston, I had amazing boss, and I was hired for the position of system accountant. That to migrate from Microsoft Great Plans into Salesforce, and that was my first introduction to train everyone on new software, to improve business processes with a new ERP implementation, and I love it. We back at that time. After that experience, we plan we flew back to Sydney, and I was given an opportunity to join small Microsoft partner in Sydney, where I was exposed to CRM, Business Central, Power BI, and that's where it all started. Never look back.
Wow. Okay. So did you ever work with Navision or NAV?
No, I don't have experience with Navision. I learned, so when I start my job as a Business Central consultant, the documentation was available for Navision, previous one, the one that is back time. So it was useful to learn some areas of Business Central using Navision.
So when we look at what you're working on, let's say since the start of this year, what are your priority focus areas? Business Central is a growing application. There's a lot of areas to it. Are you specializing more in like warehouse management or general ledger? What's the areas that you focus in with the product?
On day to day, we focus on mostly finance with inventory, not warehouse, advanced warehouse, not as deep, but what I'm focusing is reporting. I'm focusing on reporting on what's available, where is Business Central migrating, and where it's developing into better financial reporting tool. Again, Power BI, and that's what our clients want. Because I believe accounting is moving from just not operational part of the business, it's moving into analytical part of the business to take advantage of analyzing your data. And what Business Central helps our clients to simplify day-to-day using GL accounts by introducing posting groups, and help accountants and finance teams focus on be more creative and utilize that data and make better decisions in the future.
What do you think the impact of AI is going to have on the finance operation inside organizations in the coming years?
Oh, well, it's a long journey yet, right? So there's a lot of impact right now that simplify and actually produce your, it's a great tool. It still needs a human supervision, but it's amazing to to use for drafts and to utilize some, to simplify some repetitive technical task. We are far away from having it replacing someone else's job, but I guess we all know as a former accountant, we all know that what used to be bookkeeper, it's already basically not existing position because it can be replaced. We all need to use our intelligence, right, our creativity to bring better decisions for the business.
So I take it Power BI is one of the main tools that you're using.
No, it's not the main one. I'm using main one for my job today is Business Central, but yes, Power BI is one of the tools we're using.
Okay, so before when you were talking about you're doing a lot in the area of reporting, when we look at the continuum of reporting, there can be, reporting on historic data, which I can't do anything about. It was history. It's what happened, and if we go through the reporting life cycle, we update to what's happening in real time to then, if you like, with algorithms infused, you can be predictive around the future. Are your customers at that maturity level that they're looking at? How can we make informed decisions on what we're going to do in the next quarter or the next half year based on how historical data, but also what we're predicting to happen in the future in our business?
You can use forecasting capabilities of Business Central. Power BI is there too. Of course, that's a part of being analytical, creative with your data, with your historical data, to make better future finance decisions.
What training do you recommend people do to really develop their skills in that analytics area, to be able to understand where an organization is at, but also to be able to advise to take them into a future state that makes them more informed, more capable of making those decisions based on data?
Oh, well, I'm not sure about the training in particular. I think that's a complex, right? Complex of few different skills that come together. But what I'm looking from my perspective and what I'm seeing from our clients' engagement is moving to more robust ERP systems that gives you that capability. So if we stay with the previous generation accounting systems, that's where you meet your limitations. By introducing Business Central to business, you unleash the more availability for your team to analyze the data, to work on other priorities, and be more up to date with the technologies. The same Business Central helps not only with the reporting, right? It has great capabilities with integration. You can use it in Teams. You can use it with Power Platform for approvals, and a lot of time consuming with making it like a lot of team members involved in sort of bureaucratical steps that needs to be done, and they are manual in businesses. That's where Power Platform helps. That's where Teams, you can simplify those processes. You can eliminate Excel templates. You can eliminate hard copy approvals. Make it simple, make it easy, free the rest of the time for more innovative approach.
What are you seeing from a maturity level around? And I don't know, because my area of expertise is definitely not in Business Central. Are you having clients that fully embed functionality from BC into Microsoft Teams and via Power Apps? Is that becoming a common scenario?
It is becoming a very common interest from the client. Yes, I don't see it that it's widely used yet as I would like to, but it's going that way.
Yeah. One of the things I'm seeing in the SAP space is using Power Virtual Agents to query data. So from Teams, so you can ask a chatbot, what's the inventory level of X or Y? This purchase order came in. Here's the purchase order number. What's the status of it? Blah blah blah. Is that those scenarios also happening with BC?
Yes, exactly. And it's the sorry with the more we in Microsoft invest into product development and get much easier to use. So those low code solutions with chatbots become much easier to use to end users without involving a consultant or developer.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Tell me, how did you become an MVP?
That's interesting. So the first one introduction was with Tatiana Pupko, who has been MVP for 5 or 6 years. She's based in Spain with a background in Russia. So, and I was based in I am based in Sydney with background in Ukraine. And for some period of time, we collaborate, we work together. She introduced me to co-presenting on some community events, and we end up delivering great session in directions for partners last year in Germany. That was and huge thank you to Tatiana. She has been instrumental in introducing me to MVP community, introducing me to how experts engage with each other, how strong this community is and supporting. And that was the initial one. And then I was lucky enough to meet another MVP, Manon, VC, that based in Sydney, and she's on simultaneously my colleague in Valrata. And she has been just amazing and inspirational leader model for me that I was looking up for. And that's altogether come to MVP award.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I met Tatiana in 2019 in Seattle, is when I first met her, and I've had her on the show as well. So fantastic to see that connection happening across the community. When you presented at Directions, did you fly there? Did you go there, or were you doing it remote?
No. Yes, you have all the direction for partners. They have in-person sessions. So yes, I did fly. My company, Valrata, has supported that. So it was amazing, and thank you to them for such a great experience. That was a highlight of my MVP journey, my journey to MVP.
Yeah. And how many MVP summits have you done now?
I haven't done none, not yet. So I haven't attended them yet.
Were there many virtual sessions on in the recent MVP summit?
There must be, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend any yet.
Okay. Because I'm still going through the playbacks and the recordings of a lot of those sessions myself there, because I didn't attend either, but there's so much new content. Of course, with Microsoft Build happening this week, there's all that stuff that we learned a month ago is now becoming, coming out to the public. What excites you most about the future of the Business Central product?
Well, probably most of all that how much reporting would be available out of Business Central. AI Copilot. Amazing. I want to see how our clients will take advantage of that too.
Yeah. It's definitely seems to be changing every part of our industry. Finally, before I let you go, any advice? What advice would you have for others that want to become MVPs?
I think that's just engage with the community. It's amazing community. Find your niche, find what you're passionate about, and find the people who will support you. There are so many great experts and enthusiastic people in this community. You will find your bunch of people, and you will be feeling supported on your way to MVP award. But it's mostly about your passion and what you like to do. Like MVP hasn't changed anything for me personally. It's just great to have, but what I've done for the community and what I'm doing for the community, how my level of my engagement is staying the same.
Hey, thanks for listening. I'm your host, Business Application MVP Mark Smith, otherwise known as the NZ365 Guy. If you like the show and want to be a supporter, check out buymeacoffee.com/NZ365 Guy. Thanks again, and see you next time.